If you are listening to this podcast, it means you're searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. I am Dianne Allen, your host. My roles as ambassador, author, speaker, and intuitive mentor for bright and talented people are woven into each episode. I have the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as I have been there and I understand your unique intensities, sensitivities, and challenges. Welcome. Joy and love are the great equalizers. Friends, hi, and I hope you're having an amazing time right now in your life. And I pray that many of the episodes you've listened to of Someone Gets Me have fulfilled you and enriched you and reawakened parts of you that you knew were in there but weren't quite as fiery. And if it's the first time here listening to Someone Gets Me, I welcome you. Today, we are talking about joy and peace and how they equalize the toxic static in the world. And as we all know, we are living in a world right now that is topsy-turvy, upside down, full of toxicity, oppositional things, all of it. It's everywhere. And if you are a twice exceptional person, a gifted person, a sensitive person, you feel it on deep levels, and many of them are nonverbal. It's just in us. So I want to talk about how joy and love can really help equalize some of these things so that we can navigate the world and bring our light forward and take a stand for what is good and true and just. I'm coming to you this morning from Davis Island Yacht Club in Tampa, Florida, and I'm getting ready to go yacht racing. And I was thinking about the whole idea of love and peace and joy, and particularly the fact that love, for most people, is like human love, and that is great. Or maybe their pet love, and that is great. But what I want to talk about are what activities you do that awaken in you that deep, heart-opening love. Now, for me, as many of you who know me well know, that it's the water and particularly sailboat racing that I've been doing my entire life. And so I sit here feeling my heart opening and excitement happening because the thing that brings great love in my world is happening. And as soon as I'm done recording this, I'll be going down and helping launch the boat and get ready. And it's that love that for me equalizes all of the chaos and the toxic things and the stress of the world. It melts it away. And by the second or third maneuver outside, headed to the starting line, I can physically feel the tension of the stress of the world that my body has just absorbed, knowingly and unknowingly, start to melt away. And by the end of the day, I feel totally different. So I ask you, what opens your heart and brings you great love, where when you engage in it in a real, authentic way, it's not medicating you, it's reawakening in you something that you know is there, but maybe is a little bit quieter than we would like it to be? How can you bring that inner love fire in you into the world so that you can be a beneficial presence simply by existing? I ask you, what is that? Right? I know what it is for me. It's water. I also feel it when I go swimming. So if I get ready to go swimming, as I dive in the water, I can literally, as the water goes up my body in that fraction of a second, I can feel all of I kind of imagine it like slimy, toxic stuff on my skin just being taken away by the water. I can do it when I stand in a shower and I feel the water drip off my fingertips and just allow the sludge from the day, the sludge from what's happening in the world to drip off my body. So what is it for you? It could be anything. The truth is we all have at least one thing, if not more. And when we allow that part of us to awaken our heart and bring the fire forward, we then become more and more and more joyful, peaceful, loving, kind. It's the natural, our natural inherent state, because joy is our natural state. Anything other than joy is an altered state. Now, there's no denying that we live in a world that is full of toxic, angry, crazy things. In fact, even on my birthday recently, I received a happy birthday text that had some not very nice things that came right behind it, because this person wanted me to give them my full attention. And I'm like, wow, that's a very interesting way to get that in there, rather than asking for my attention. And it's a friend of mine. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is interesting. And sometimes we need things and we don't ask for them, and we assume that other people are going to fill our needs. Well, assuming is not the best way to do it. It means, we're making an ass out of you and me, and we don't want to do that. And so if somebody reaches out, then I'm happy to help them or be there or listen or hold their hand. And when we expect things from others, we require ourselves to have an emotional response of happiness, and we agree, and that's great, and we're getting our expectations met. Or if our expectations aren't being met, we get all upset. I choose to look at things more like preferences. Like, I would prefer that people would do certain things, maybe reach out to me at a certain time, or do this or do that. But I don't expect it, because when I expect something, it requires a yes, no response, a happy, I'm satisfied, or a no, I'm not satisfied response. Those things erode my joy. They erode my sense of connection and love. They erode my inner peace when I walk around expecting things from other people, or from the world for that matter, right? So I like to look at it as preferences. I would prefer these different things. Because what my friend didn't know is that I was already doing the spiritual work that she wanted me to do. I don't have to speak it to be doing it, number one. And number two, that there's been all kinds of crises in people that I love and care about in my life as well. And so any of us to assume that we're the only ones having an issue, is goofy, right? It makes no sense, because the truth is every human being is going through something. Being a human at this time and space is not the easiest thing in the world. I don't think it's easy at all for any of us. And if we're sensitive, or we're gifted, or we're empaths or intuitives, all of those things, then our experience is more intense, might we say. So when I contacted my friend, I'm like, I'm sorry you feel this way, and what is it that I can do for you? And again, if you need something from someone, or you're wishing that they would call you or engage with you or talk to you, then tell them, not in a passive aggressive text. Tell them in person, on the phone. Let them hear your voice and what you need from them or would like for them. Because what I know about people is most of us want to be helpful and loving and kind, but we don't know what we don't know. And even the most intuitive people are not going to be able to read your mind or know that you're wishing you would call them. So think about that for a minute. Think about how when you make an authentic connection and you're truly allowing your heart needs to be met, that it opens your heart further, because it's in that vulnerability where your strength lies. See, we've lived in a culture for generations that tells us that our emotions and our vulnerability is weakness. However, that's not true. Our emotions and vulnerability is where our strength is. It's where we engage our power. And when you think about it, it's emotions that drive everything you do. Living in Florida, like the high majority of my life, people would say, oh, I want to go see the sunset. I want to go see the sunset. And it's beautiful when it sets over the Gulf of Mexico and you can hear the surf and have your feet in the sand. It's absolutely the most amazing experience. And I've done it thousands of times and out on the water as well. But it's not the sun setting that draws people to the shore to watch it. It's the emotion they feel as they're experiencing the sun setting. That's what draws people. It's the emotion that draws us forward. It's the emotion that gets us to act. It's our emotion where our power lies. And one of those emotions is love. Joy is another one, right? These deep emotions are meant to be expressed and meant to be brought into the world. So when fear happens or toxic things or upset and all the wildness out there in the world starts going on, or we feed ourselves a lot of, negative social media and a lot of anger and toxic things, then the higher love and peace will take a back seat for a while because those toxic things are louder in that sense. So if you're not feeling your inherent beauty of joy, if you're not allowing your heart to be open in love and wonder of life, I'm not talking about simply loving another person or loving yourself, which is part of it. I'm talking about the greater love and wonder of life. If you're not allowing that, then what happens is you start to shut down more and more and more. And pretty soon it feels kind of cold and icy inside. And it shows in how you feel about the world and your friendships and how you interact with your friends and your family and yourself. So I want to remind you that your power is in your emotions. That love, when you open your heart in love, it brings that inner fire in you forward. It allows that inner fire in you to burn away all the negative things, all the delusions, all the pain, all the grief, all the stuff that clings on to us or that we invite in. And we have to be willing to go do it. That's what we have to be willing to do. It's quite interesting. I experience it every single time I get on a boat. I experience that level of opening of love every time I'm playing with my puppy. And I experience it every time I'm having an authentic gourmet conversation with people close to me. There's lots of ways to experience that deep opening within us. And it requires safety and trust and self-love and care in order to open up. So this episode is all about that opening up. It's being recorded here in the middle of the holiday season. We're on day 3 of Hanukkah, which is an important holiday for me. Christmas is coming up, another important holiday, because see, I celebrate the spiritual aspects, the deeper, higher, principled aspects of all of these things. The materialism and the popular cultural way to celebrate all holidays is a minor part of my experience. Diane's experience is the higher spiritual principles. And of Hanukkah, it's of life and love and light, care. And of Christmas, it's of unconditional love. That's what Santa Claus represents, unconditional love. And it's about home, meaning coming home within ourselves, standing in our sovereignty, breathing into your own essence. There's deep meaning on high principled levels of everything that we call a holiday. So we get to choose how we experience these things. We get to choose whether we look at it from the outside of like, what do I get? What presents am I getting? Or we get to look at it from how can I give? How can I serve? How can I offer goodness to others in a heart opening love and joy and peace state? How can I do that? So I enjoy living by those higher principles and bringing them into my life, my world, and my experience. And so this is my invitation for you this holiday season. as we celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa, and all these great holidays that have high spiritual principles that bring them forward. Arguing over the timing of this, or did Jesus do that, or what about this thing over here, and all those things, for me, is an interesting academic discussion. But my heart opens. My heart deeply opens when I connect to the higher principles of love and light and care. And then when we get to the new year, which I do my New Year's things on my birthday, which was in November, when we get to the new year, we get to look behind us, kind of standing on a threshold and looking behind. I imagine being on a mountain and looking from the road I've traveled and see all the pitfalls and ups and downs and twists and turns. And then taking a deep breath and honoring that path and turning forward and seeing the road ahead with wonder and joy and expectation and excitement. And in this example, the expectation is not requiring somebody to do something and expecting a certain behavior. It's that childhood, that childlike expectation of wonder of what cool thing is going to happen next. It has curiosity woven through it in these intricate ways where we get to see what road are we going to take and what's it going to be like and what am I going to see and experience and feel. So for every holiday, and for most days actually, it's a good idea to, when you wake up in the morning, to open your heart, to allow yourself to feel your own inner joy that is your essence, and to step forward into the day with curiosity and beauty and care. That's a good idea, I think. Right? So I hope that some of these things have helped awaken that inner love in you and that fire in you and that joy in you. As always, you can contact me through my email in the show notes or on my website, visionsapplied.com. And I am always happy to have a conversation with you or talk about any of these things, or just to simply connect, because I believe that human connection brings about that love I'm talking about. So remember, you're beautiful, you are lovable, and you are capable. You, my friend, are here on earth right now listening to me because you have something amazing in you, that inner fire that wants to burn away the static in the world. So let your love and your light shine brightly. And if other people have a hard time with your bright light, get them some sunglasses. All right, friends. Thank you for listening. Remember to put your face to the sun so the shadows fall behind you, because you're a rock star. You're here on purpose with a purpose. Remember, bring your love forward. Let your heart open for your mighty presence on this planet. And after all, we all need a little bit more love shining in the world. Until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, be well. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me.